has never faced down the prospect of a flag-to-flag race. So many riders in this field would never have been in that situation and scenario. Alex Marquez then ploughing a lone furrow for the Marquez family right now, with older brother Mark sidelined, not indefinitely, but certainly for a couple of months more at least, with that right arm injury suffered in Jerez. Decent race speed yet again from Alex.
Okay, it's time for the national anthem of Styria.
Bis zum Wendeland am Bett der Sav und vom Albtal an, das die Mürz durchbraust, bis ins Rebenland im Tal der Trau. Dieses schöne Land ist der Steirerland, ist mein liebes, teures Heimatland. Dieses schöne Land ist der Steirerland, ist mein viel geliebtes Heimatland.
It's a beautiful part of the world here, the misty mountains of Styria in the heart of Austria. There is the Styrian flag. Who will prevail, who will be king of the mountain here in Austria. A 2-week break after this, an opportunity to recap, refresh ahead of Misano.
There are sore necks on the grid right now as everybody looks skywards to check what the latest weather conditions are. Cal Crutchlow is having a bit of a torrid time right now on the LCR Honda machine, starting 17th, qualified 18th, his worst starting position since the British Grand Prix at Silverstone back in 2012. He says that right now we're just going around in circles, no direction with the setup, and Taka Nakagami proving that the 2020 Honda, no real improvement on last year's motorcycle, which was such a potent weapon in the hands of Marc Marquez. There's Aleix Espargaro getting set, cap off, getting ready for his challenge from 19th on the grid. Worst qualifying since Assen last year, although, to be fair to Aleix, in FP4, race pace was very, very strong. He was 7th quickest in that 4th practice session as he gets the earplugs already.
I've got to say, Matt, I'm quite torn here. This is one of the hardest MotoGP races to call, I think, that we've witnessed in a long time.
Do you know what? I couldn't agree more. I've absolutely no idea. Dovi's experience normally comes to the fore, doesn't it? But Joan Mir's looked so good all weekend. Pol Espargaro, we could be talking about a double MotoGP winner right now, not a guy who's coming into this race on the back of a double DNF after collisions with Zarco and Oliveira over the last 2 weeks. And you can't discount this young man. Taka Nakagami has been excellent. Race pace yesterday, he was quickest in that FP4 session. That's normally your barometer of where the guys are at in terms of their race rhythm. So I think there's probably at least 5 or 6 guys that are going to fancy a serious crack at winning this one.
It's anyone's game here for the BMW M Grand Prix of Styria. Someone will get the keys to a brand new, beautiful BMW M4 at the end of this race as well.
Saw that in the paddock the other day. Very, very nice piece of kit indeed. Wouldn't mind one of those on the drive outside my house, that's for sure.
Well, if you ask the winner nicely, you never know. Here is Johann Zarco. How is he feeling? He said that if it stays dry, he finds it difficult to believe he could maintain a pace to put in a good result, but if it's wet, it's a different story. Great news for French fans as well. Johann Zarco will be staying in MotoGP next year on a Ducati. We're not quite sure the identity of his team. Still a bit of a shuffling of the pack to go in the Bologna manufacturer, but Paolo Ciabatti reporting yesterday that Zarco is staying. They've made an offer of 2 years to Pecco Bagnaia as well, but it's just where they slot into the lineup next year. The only guaranteed seat right now in Ducati is Jack Miller in the factory seat. Ducati back in the market, of course, with Andrea Dovizioso quitting last weekend. The M8 roaring away from the line. A home Grand Prix for KTM, sponsored by BMW. That means we're 3 minutes away from the race start here in MotoGP. 4 wonderful stories so far. So much drama in the opening 4 races. What have we got in store here today? And did Ducati hold on to this undefeated record in Ducati? There's the championship leader, Fabio Quartararo. It should be a damage limitation day, you'd think.
Great, there you can see Wilco Zeelenberger, pat on the back, said something there to Fabio Quartararo. It looked like just to relieve the tension, relieve the pressure. Big smiles from both of the men. Red Bull Ring is now Andrea Dovizioso's most successful track in MotoGP. 3 wins, beating his 2 in Qatar and in Japan. Can he make it a fantastic 4 here today in Spielberg?
2 goes at it, Pol Espargaro, but he's never started from pole in the Premier class. It's take 3 for Pol. This could be the golden day once more for KTM. Can he make it count? The plan A will certainly be for Pol to try and get out front and bolt. He's got some great rhythm, great pace, but MotoGP races just aren't as easy as that. Here's your front row then for the inaugural BMW M Grand Prix of Styria. Joan Mir looking to go one better. He'll start on the Suzuki from 3rd. Taka Nakagami. What a story it would be for Honda with no Marc Marquez if he could pull something out of the hat. He'll, of course, go out with that soft rear tyre and on pole position at their home Grand Prix here in Austria. The Red Bull KTM, powered by Pol, on pole.
It's time for the Red Bull Ring rematch in MotoGP. A first MotoGP pole position for KTM and Pol Espargaro on the front row with Nakagami and Joan Mir. There's Alex Rins going from the back of the 2nd row with Maverick Vinales and Jack Miller. Your World Championship leader Fabio Quartararo. He starts from the back of row 3, which includes Miguel Oliveira and Andrea Dovizioso. Keep an eye on Valentino Rossi. He's got work to do from 14th place, but there is the man. Red Bull gives you wings. He hopes to be flying in this 28-lap race, does Pol Espargaro. Jack Miller carrying that shoulder injury after that crash in FP3 yesterday. We're all set to go. Maverick Vinales fist pumping the tank of his factory Yamaha.
The noise of 22 roaring machines with 22 noble warriors ready to tackle the Red Bull Ring.
A history-making day in MotoGP, the 900th Grand Prix, June 1949. Harold Daniel won the first ever Premier Class race, the Ironman TT Tourist Trophy on a Norton motorcycle. Who will be crowned winner number 900?
Look at some of those faces, some of those names.
What
the
a
great
roster.
Mike Hailwood,
Giacomo
Agostini, Kenny Roberts.
Everywhere you look, there's just, it's legends a go-go, isn't it? Marc Marquez, Mick Doohan, Casey Stoner, Jorge Lorenzo, Eddie Lawson, Kevin Schwantz, Valentino Rossi, King Kenny. Some of the best we've ever had the privilege and pleasure to watch on 2 wheels. And this is a man, Valentino Rossi, as we mentioned, he started in nearly 40%. Incredible, 40% of those Premier Class races.
No sighting lap, all warm-up lap for Zarco. He's going straight in cold from pit lane. Incredible. It's going to be, we'll keep an eye on Johan Zarco. At the moment, then, we're going to start this Grand Prix dry.
He definitely does things his own way, doesn't he, Johan Zarco? There's confirmation on the warm-up lap. Pol Espargaro, his first MotoGP pole, first since Moto2. Valencia 2013, first.
Oh, he is out.
KTM.
No, Zarco is out. He is there on screen. So he's just up a couple of places ahead of Tito Rabat, but he will now make his way. And there you can see he's just going into pit lane.
So will Andrea Dovizioso head home to Misano in 3 weeks' time as the new MotoGP World Championship leader? 11 points the deficit he has to bridge to this man Fabio Quartararo, who's got very modest expectations of a top 6 today. Here comes his compatriot, fellow Frenchman Johan Zarco, for his pit lane start. Can he get himself in somehow into that top 10 battle? There'll be fireworks when Zarco's around.
There will be a new world champion in 2020. It's one of the 22 men that is lining up here. Chapter 5. Will it be Hysteria in Styria? Lights out and away we go. Great start from Pol Paul Espargaro, and also from Jack Miller on the second row. Joan Mir side by side there with Paul Espargaro, and he's trying to go through, and he will take the whole shot. He leads.
What a start as well by Alex Rins, that factory Suzuki's whole shot device working a treat yet again. It's Mir then that leads on the run down. There's Johan Zarco starting from the pit lane. His Austrian Grand Prix starts as well. Mir though will have the advantage in the braking zone for the first time up at turn 3. Jack Miller's had a good start. He's third.
Yeah, Jack Miller with that strange line through turn 3. Have they all managed to get through? Okay, all out of the seat there was Franco Morbidelli. That was costly. He's lost loads of ground. Here comes Jack Miller. He's trying to pounce now on Paul Espargaro. As they drop down the hill into turn 4, he'll get there.
Yeah,
he's got the inside line.
Squeezes Paul Espargaro out wide. There was no way for Paul Espargaro to turn in. And he loses third place as well to Taka Nakagami. It's time. They run through turn 5. Contact yet again then between Paul Espargaro and Taka Nakagami. More early drama. Crikey.
Here's your teeth, mate.
I was going to say, I'll put them back in.
I don't blame you. Mir's got to drop a position. Joan Mir has got to drop one position. I think that's because he went so wide on the exit of turn 1, but kept the power wide open.
How's Dovizioso's first lap been so far? Pretty good. He's up one place from 8th to 7th. Been a really good start as well for Valentino Rossi. He's been really rapid off the line. Rossi was 14th. He's already inside that top 10 in 9th.
Did Mir give the position to Jack already? We'll keep you posted on that. Across the line to end lap 1 then. It is Jack Miller that leads the Australian despite injury.
Miller roughed up Paul Espargaro in the braking zone for turn number 4. That's why Paul Espargaro dropped back behind Taka Nakagami. They definitely rubbed through that turn 5. Look at Rossi up 5 places. He's been the big winner on lap 1.
That's old Rossi, that is, isn't it? In the background there, the Ducati of Dovi's making a move on Maverick Vinales, and he's through. The race winner from a week ago then moves up into 6th place.
Yeah, would not have had to work too hard for that one, using the power of the Ducati to out-drag Vinales on that uphill braking zone into turn 3. So then it's Jack Miller that leads the way. He led for so long in race 2, didn't he, last weekend when he gambled on that soft front tyre, soft rear tyre.
He's wide into turn 1, but he's okay. There's Brad Binder side by side there with fellow KTM rider. Is that Lekuona?
He is wide. He pulls it back to the apex though there to keep ahead of Taka Nakagami in 2nd place. It's been a dreadful start for Fabio Quartararo. He started, in 9th place, lost 3 places already. Quartararo, the World Championship leader, 12th at the moment, not even inside that top 10.
Yeah, I think he got caught up with Franco Morbidelli.
Instant, yeah.
Right then, Miller leads then in the drop to turn 9 ahead of Nakagami. Is Mir fancying another go? Of course, it was these two fighting for 2nd place last week.
How costly was the pit lane start for Johan Zarco? Well, he lost 8 seconds on that first lap alone, so very, very costly indeed for Zarco. There he is, trying to make progress, hunting down Tito Rabat, Stefan Bradl. Binder.
Binder, the fastest man.
He's the Sunday man again.
He is. He's got a lot of work to do, though, from 10th place at present.
But he was 6/10 of a second quicker on that last lap than Rossi ahead of him. Those two tangled at turn 9 last weekend. Rossi wasn't too impressed with an aggressive move by Binder down into turn number 9. He said it was rather too optimistic. Jack Miller was standing next to Binder in the pre-event press conference when they had that exchange, and Jack said, "Good to see you winning friends and influencing people, Brad." Light-hearted, of course. It was all tongue-in-cheek, all good-natured.
Well, they're side by side again. Binder's just behind Rossi at the moment on circuit. Still Miller leads through turn 4. It's Ducati, Suzuki, Honda and KTM. Paul Espargaro then, feathers ruffled a bit in the opening stages. Plan A not executed. Miller was really wide on the approach to turn 6 there.
Dovizioso did what he had to do, and that was keep himself out of trouble in those frantic early corners. Really tricky. He needs to get mired in mid-pack in that first corner. On board then with Zarco. He's straight away down to those low 125s. Jack Miller, your race leader, on that last lap did a 125.109. Zarco did a 125.276.
Joan Mir then in 2nd place. Look at Taka Nakagami. What a start to the race this is. He's now getting in the slipstream here. They're all side by side. Miller must have made a small error on the exit. Here comes Nakagami, side by side with Mir.
Nakagami's the fastest man on the circuit right now. A 24.839. That's a smidgen quicker than Miller, and Mir ahead of him. Paul Espargaro hanging on to that 4th place under pressure from Alex Rins. Here is El Diablo, misfiring at the moment. Quartararo is now down in 13th place. If he's not careful, he's going to be giving up the World Championship lead. Joan Mir gives up 2nd place to Taka Nakagami. That's brilliant by the Honda man on the brakes into turn 3.
Yeah, it's all closing up because Alex Rins now is getting on terms with Paul Espargaro as well. Look at them all weaving around as Mir looks to try and get the inside line on Nakagami into turn 4. He's up alongside him once more. Retaliation That's nice from Joan Mir, but he's slightly wide on exit.
Yeah, that Suzuki's so good in the braking zones. It turns on a dime as well, so it's hard work for Taka Nakagami. We know last year that Honda had problems with understeer, certainly in the high-speed corners, so he's doing a great job, Taka Nakagami. Fabio Quartararo, just nothing going for him whatsoever. He's now dropped back behind Alex Marquez, so there's obviously been another mistake, hasn't there? Has he gone on at the first corner?
Yeah, here we go. This is it. Into turn one, way wide. Lost loads of time there as the World Championship leader. Alex Marquez, by the way, has had a good start. He's up to 12th. Ika Lecuona, he's scrapping away with the, look at that. I mean, that's almost in
repeat of those braking zones. I mean, Fabio flustered, that's for sure.
In the meantime, Binder's got past Valentino Rossi. And look at the lead, it's changed. Joan Mir has gone through ahead of Miller.
Binder got Rossi, and in the process, Steve, he set the fastest lap of the race. Although that's just been bettered. Ladies and gentlemen, Johann Zarco is now the quickest man around the Red Bull Ring. We're on board with the Flying Frenchman right now, a 24.685. He'd be in this group if it wasn't for that penalty.
But goodness me, given the friendly fire that KTM have had, that was a lunge and a half from Brad Binder on Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, they won all their 4 bikes to finish this Grand Prix. Did Binder get the memo?
Braking into turn 4. So far, this is shaping up nicely. Maverick Vinales is in 7th place. He's not lost touch of these guys. That's hopeful for Yamaha. He's just ahead of Binder, Oliveira and Valentino Rossi. This is the move that Mir made then on Jack Miller.
Yeah, that was nicely done. I just wondered whether Miller was just struggling there in those braking zones with that right shoulder. What must be going through Brad Binder's mind? Grew up idolising Valentino Rossi, and now twice in a week in Spielberg, he's overtaken the Italian legend.
There is Taka Nakagami. We've not had a Japanese rider on the podium since, of course, 2012 in Valencia in the wet.
Yeah, the last dry race podium for a Japanese rider 14 years ago.
Nakano?
In Assen, Shinny Nakano, in that famous 2006 Assen race where Colin Edwards was leading, going into final chicane and crashed out in that epic
on the Kawasaki
with Nicky Hayden. Wow, they're due one, I think.
Yeah,
Japanese.
Just a bit.
There'll be a few excited Japanese fans right now watching from the Far East, that's for sure.
Mir looks great here. Joan Mir.
Yeah, he looks good.
He's promised this pretty much all weekend, Joan Mir.
Well, you won't find anybody that loves this Red Bull Ring more than him. 2-time Moto3 winner. And his love affair continued here last weekend after that brilliant fight with Jack Miller for 2nd place. Fabio Quartararo then just about holding on to the World Championship lead, but Andrea Dovizioso at the moment doesn't look like he's that keen to really push hard and stress those tyres as Quartararo lunged up the inside of Alex Marquez into turn 1, and again,
go wide again.
It's an aborted move.
Yeah, this is not going to plan, is it? He's very strong in Misano, though. He will bounce back, the Frenchman, but it's just the question of whether or not he'll have a championship lead by the time we get there.
Yeah, he needs to suck it up now, doesn't he? Take his medicine, because he is good in Misano. The Yamaha works well there. He was so close to beating Marc Marquez in that Misano Grand Prix 1 year ago. Well, it'll be interesting going to Misano. He's wide.
Paul Espargaro's wide there. That's where he's had an incident before, and Rins is straight through.
You can see Rins just taking advantage. He had the better drive, the cleaner line, the cleaner approach down to the turn 10. He made that look quite easy. Paul Espargaro, though, fights straight back up the inside of his fellow Spaniard. That's how you do it. If you get past, retaliate straight away. That's the Marquez way.
Up the hill we go then, Paul Espargaro. He did say yesterday that he felt like he had the better package to win in the initial start last Sunday, and at the moment, he's just struggling to hold on to that 4th spot.
Dovizioso at this stage of the race, early doors, there's still a long way to go, 22 laps, but he's 2.2 seconds behind Joan Mir. And he's not really looking like he's making big progress to get in that battle between Rins and Paul Espargaro right now.
I'll tell you who's having a great race, Matt. It's Ika Lecuona. He's a 10th behind Valentino Rossi. He's just at the back of that 2nd group. He's up ahead of Fabio Quartararo. That's immense company to be keeping.
If he could, he'd pinch himself right now, wouldn't he?
I mean, that's just the stuff dreams are made of for a rookie of his age. Fantastic effort from Lecuona. Behind him, Quartararo, Marquez, Petrucci, Aleix Espargaro. Morbidelli's out of the points altogether, just ahead of Crutchlow. We're on board here then with Jack Miller, with Taka Nakagami just tucked up behind it.
Yeah, the only guy in the top 12 right now that on the soft Michelin rear tyre is Taka Nakagami. Tyre wear is going to be critical towards the back end of this race, but this top 3 have broken Espargaro and Rins while those two are tutting it out for 4th and 5th. That little personal duel's costing a bit of time here because Mir, Miller and Nakagami are 1.2 seconds clear of Polispargo, who's just set his fastest lap of the race, a 1:24.450, but it's still a 10th down. Mir, Miller and Nakagami, nothing between them at all. 1:24.3s across the board from that top three.
You've got to give Jack Miller credit here. He's really fighting through the pain barrier as he takes that unique line into turn number 3. Francesco Guidotti this morning, when I gave a thumbs up or a thumbs down, he put it sort of half measure, and so I'm really not sure what to make of today. We just want to get through it, and I'm hoping more than actually predicting that Jack will have a good race.
Well, that's as loose as Joan Mir's looked all race. He got it a little bit snaking around on that rear tyre in the braking zone for turn 4, managed to gather it all back up pretty quickly. That's the braking stability of the Suzuka coming to the fore.
There is Polispargo at the moment fending off Alex Rins. Joan Mir still leads from Miller and Nakagami. This is Dovi then, up ahead of Maverick Vinales.
Yeah, Alex Rins knows what it takes to lead a MotoGP race around the Red Bull Ring. The problem was it was for about 3 seconds last week. Just lunged up the inside of Isman Andrea Dovizioso into turn 6 when he lost the front, released the front brake, picked up the throttle, took a bit too much weight off that front end, and down he went.
There's a long roll. Rossi's gone really wide in the background there.
He needs his pass to get back in after that one, Rossi.
And he's been passed by Lecuona, so Lecuona's now in the top 10 as we cross the line. 8 laps completed here, still Mir, Miller, Nakagami, Polispargo. There is Ika Lecuona, then the Red Bull KTM Tech 3 rider who's now gone through on Rossi. I know it's only early stages, Matt, but KTM haven't got that spark that they had here 1 week ago.
No, interestingly, Polispargo, Brad Binder and Ika Lecuona are on that hard front tyre, which has been the preferred pick of the KTM men here this weekend. In these cooler conditions, are they just lacking that turning performance and the corner speed with that lack of edge grip as Oliveira sweeps up the inside of Brad Binder. Binder said, I'm not having that, mate. He sweeps straight back on through.
Yeah, Memo definitely not red.
Future teammates.
Yeah.
And of course they were involved in a bit of controversy in Jerez too when Binder swiped into the back of his Portuguese pal.
Lecuona's closing in on those two, by the way. The KTM trio. This is a stunning ride.
Well, he was so close to getting into Q2, wasn't he? I loved his quote yesterday as well when somebody said to him, what is your objective for tomorrow? And he just went, finish. I need the experience. The calibre of riders though that he's mixing with right now, what he's going to be learning is like gold for Ika Lecuona.
I know he's a rookie the same as Brad Binder is, but he's 100 Grand Prix short of Brad Binder. There's a massive difference in that.
Mir's just starting to stretch his legs on that Suzuki. He got down to a 24.289 that last lap. It was 3/10 quicker than Miller, a couple of tenths faster than Nakagami. Alex Rins has just set his PB lap, but he hasn't been able to pick his way through yet on Polispargo.
Here's Miguel Oliveira and Brad Binder side by side up through turn 2. Brad Binder will retaliate on the brakes though as they make their way in to turn 3 and does. Can he make it stick? He can for now.
Despite what happened in Jerez 2, these two are really good buddies. They were teammates in Moto 3, teammates in Moto 2, and they're going to be future teammates in MotoGP as well. They know each other like the backs of their hands.
Maverick Vinales has hit a brick wall. Something has happened to Maverick. Look, there he is. He's dropped behind those KTMs and he's now about to be passed by Valentino Rossi.
Last lap was a 25.2 from Vinales. That is a second slower than this man, Joan Mir, who at the moment is looking terrific. This is what he threatened to do. Davide Brivio, I'm sorry Davide, there are still 18 and a half laps to go.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a long time to be chewing your fingernails.
And it's not over.
Don't be down to the bone at this rate.
Not by a long shot.
Again, Steve Dovizioso, he's just not making any impression on Polispargo and Alex Rins at all. He's been stuck around those mid to high 124s, Dovizioso, and that's it. He can't break that barrier.
This is Quartararo in 12th place at the moment. He's lapping quicker than a few guys in front of him. In fact, the 2 Yamahas in front of him. I think Quartararo, if the brakes are okay, he might find his way inside the top 10 pretty soon.
And Yamaha are finding out to their cost, Steve, just how much progress KTM and Suzuki have made. Because last year you would not have had many races where KTMs were in front of all the Yamahas. But at the moment, there are 4 KTMs in front of 3 Yamahas.
On board here with Alex Rins, you get the feeling that if Alex Rins was able to break through on Polispargo, he might be able to stretch out. He's got some good rhythm, but acceleration-wise and top speed, that KTM still just about has the nod. This is the battle for 4th place here at the Red Bull Ring. This is the fight for the top 3 places. Still Joan Mir with that half a second lead that sort of goes up to 6/10 and drops down to 4/10 in various sectors.
At the moment, he's been picture perfect. He's just been able to manage that gap back to Jack Miller quite comfortably.
That rear sliding out of that Pramac Ducati. Bit of a nose twitch there from Joan Mir on the drop to turn 9.
A couple of times he's getting it a bit loose in the braking zones. It's not a mere formality for Mir, even at this stage of the race. He looks so good right now, but there is a long way to go as well. Alex Rins somehow has got to try and find a way through on Pol Espargaro. Easier said than done, of course.
Well, yeah, they're losing touch, aren't they, from the top 3. Brad Binder's now all over the tail of Dovi.
Yeah, and
all over the tail.
have just got some great rhythm. They've just swapped personal best laps of the race, and Dovizioso is going to have a big problem, and it's coming in bright orange.
Quick Zarco check. He's gone past 3 riders. He's up into 19th at the moment, but no points on offer at present. As Brad Binder now then gets into the slipstream of Andrea Dovizioso. Dovi this morning was in the low 124s. He's not anywhere near that at the moment.
Yeah, and you just wonder. He did a lot of laps on that medium rear tyre yesterday, did all of the warm-up session on it as well, but it's been so good here in the past on the soft rear. Look at the launch that the Suzuki's got with that new whole shot device.
Yeah, they've
Great
got that
start
sorted.
from Alex Rins.
They've definitely got that sorted.
Even better from Joan Mir, and that's why Mir had the drop back 1 place, because he was wide.
This is on board from Quattararo, and that was not the good start. You could hear the bog there.
The Suzuki, straight away of Alex Rins, took 7 or 8 bike lengths out of Maverick Vinales. Yamaha has supposedly got a launch device as well. Not as good as the Suzuki's, obviously.
This is a replay of turn 3 with Mir, Miller, Pol, Nakagami. There's just going wide 2 Hondas of Alex Marquez and Cal Crutchlow.
Yeah, Cal Crutchlow at the moment, it's been another horror show in Spielberg for him. He's not in the points at the moment, 17.
Binder's through on Dovi. Brad Binder then is up into 6th place now. And again, this just opens up the championship. Dovi won't claw back a huge amount of points on Quattararo, but then everyone else is going to be thrown in the mix. I mean, from a neutral perspective, we're going to head to Misano with about 7 or 8 riders that could win the World Championship.
Marc Marquez isn't here. Does anybody actually want to win this 2020 MotoGP title? Dovizioso now's got his hands full with another KTM in the careful ownership of Miguel Oliveira.
Into turn 4 we go.
This will be humbling for Dovi. This will be humbling on a track where he's been so good in the past.
I just don't understand, Matt, how it's gone like this from this morning. It's peculiar, isn't it? We've got 16 laps left. We're on board here with Pol Espargaro currently in 4th. We should just add that there's still quite a few clouds hovering overhead, but none that at this precise moment look like they're going to threaten the race. Danilo Petrucci's now gone past Maverick Vinales, by the way, further back, so Maverick's in 13th, and this is going to be another horrible day at the office for the number 12. Here we are on board with him, looking, he's about to be passed by Alex Marquez as well.
Well, last weekend he was incensed, relieved, having escaped that horror crash with Zarco and Morbidelli.
He's got a problem. You know what? Well, you've got to hope that it's not engine related, haven't you?
Wow.
You've got to hope.
Well, it was a clutch slip that cost him so dear at the start of last weekend's race. They've had their technical problems.
You'd think that he'd have pulled over if it was an engine issue, so maybe something else. Is it another clutch issue?
Well, it was a clutch issue early on, wasn't it, that cost him last weekend?
Mir's bolting.
Morbidelli 17th at the moment as well.
Mir's bolting here.
He was a bit worried, wasn't he, Morbidelli this week coming into race after that big scare with Johan Zarco, how he would react in a big group battle. I'm not saying that's the reason why he is struggling, but he did say it was going to be a big mental test when there's riders around him on that fast sweep through turn 2.
As we get to the middle part of this race here in Styria, Mir has now got a second advantage over Jack Miller. Nakagami's still just about clinging on to the tail of Jack Miller, and then there's a almost 2-second gap back to Pol Espargaro and Alex Rins.
Track limits warning coming the way of Iker Lecuona, so he's got to be careful, although he's miles ahead at the moment of Fabio Quattararo. There is the track limits warning for the number 27. He's 2 seconds clear of Fabio Quattararo. The Yamahas just have got no speed whatsoever. They've got no top speed, they've got no grip either. I mean, Quattararo and Rossi are in the 25s, nowhere near the pace of the top men.
Crutchlow, track limits warning as well. It is so hard to wrestle these MotoGP bikes around this Austrian circuit and keep it in track limits. At the moment, Mir's doing a grand job of it as he leads up into turn 3. The BMW M4 keys at the moment look like they would be shifting over to the Suzuki man side. There's Brad Binder, who is closing slowly but surely on Polispargro and Alex Rins. Now there's a dashboard sign here from Joan Mir, mapping 3.
Yeah, that'll probably be just to soften off the power a little bit, just to conserve a bit of those tyres.
It's 1.3 up.
Can somebody go and tell Davide Brivio there's still 14 laps to go?
There's a dark room somewhere. I'm sure that Davide Brivio might be able to have a lay down.
Chuck a bucket of water over his head quickly.
Simon?
Yeah, something to add about the mapping, guys. The other thing that is critical here is fuel economy. So that'll be another reason.
Yeah, good point, Simon. Yeah, this circuit is where the riders spend the majority of the time at full throttle, wide open.
Here comes Nakagami. Is he going to attack? Yes, he is.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Through turn 10 here. That's, of course, a move that we've seen many a time on the final lap.
See Jack Miller there activate that ride height device as well, coming out of the final corner.
Nakagami up into second place. What a ride this is from the Japanese rider Honda, who must have wondered as well. I mean, that was just it. That was easy, wasn't it?
That was embarrassing. That's soul-destroying for Taka Nakagami, because Jack Miller didn't even have to work hard for that one. As long as he got good drive coming out of turn 1, he knew he was going to be able to blitz and out-drag that Honda. Lucio Cecchinello there, just, you've got to feel sorry for his man, because there's nothing you can do.
Well, what it does do is extends Joan Mir's lead by another couple of tenths. He's now 1.9 clear out front.
Can we get a heart rate monitor on Davide Brivio right now, please? The ones that they normally give to Maverick Vinales and Jack Miller. I wonder if we've got a third one and we can just slot on.
Lovely.
Nakagami, beautiful, on the change direction, on the inside of Miller. That's how you get the job done at turn 6, folks.
You wonder, don't you, what the pace is of Nakagami, if he could now break away slightly.
Well, he's got to open up enough of a gap to make sure that Miller can't get him out of turn 1. That's going to be critical. He's had to work really, really hard for this second place as Nakagami. He's worked his socks off to get in this position. Can he keep Jack Miller at bay now?
Looks like he's all right for now. Let's see what he's like on the drag, on the start-finish straight then from the helicopter view. Nakagami's opened up enough of an advantage there for it not to be a problem into turn 1. Simon. Sorry, Si, we can't hear you. We've got no signal or something. But anyway, it's Polispargro 4th, 5th for Rins, 6th for Binder. Binder, by the way, is gradually closing that gap. He's 1 second behind Rins.
Rins must be sick of the sights of the back of that KTM. He's been there the whole race. What's happened here?
Oh my goodness me!
Yamaha.
That's Maverick Vinales.
There'll be a red flag.
There must be.
The air fence has gone. They'll have to red flag it because of the damage to the air fence.
This race is going to get stopped. What has happened here? The bike's been destroyed. The air fence is gone.
They'll have to red flag it. They've got no choice.
It is red flagged. We've got a red flag here
when you pop the
in
air
Austria.
Fence, that's it.
What's happened? Oh my goodness, he's fallen. What has happened there? Simon, you need to be looking at this.
Well, has he got no brakes?
No brakes is the only
brakes.
thing I can think of. Why you jump off.
Couldn't agree more. Why on earth would he just jump off like that without... He's got, look, the bike's not slowed at all.
Yeah. Well, if that is
that's
no brakes, then
terrifying.
To see Maverick Vinales jump back up is a miracle in so many ways.
Steve?
Oh yeah, it is no brakes.
That is horrendous.
That's no brakes at all.
How many more scares in Austria does Maverick Vinales need? His week here in Austria has been absolutely gut-wrenching. Gut-wrenching.
I feel for Joan Mir. A 2.5 second lead, and this race has been stopped. And
2 red flags in a week in Austria.
We've not gone far enough or deep enough into the race for anything to be declared.
Steve, that bike was on fire. Maverick Vinales had already opened all of his 5 engines. If that's not salvageable, then there's a pit lane start coming the way of Maverick Vinales potentially soon.
Well,
you can forget about the championship.
For now, I'm just, that's the thing.
That
got to be
scary in the extreme.
Can you believe what is happening in MotoGP at the moment?
So scary.
A 12-lap restarted race is coming.
We know this circuit, it's one of the hardest, harshest and aggressive on the brakes.
This changes so much
really does.
for the next part of the race, because all of a sudden Pole was in trouble. They've got to try and change their tactics now.
Well, you have to recalculate your fuel levels that you're going to put in the bike.
What tyres you've got left.
I mean, have the guys, I'm sure after Pol Espargaro's drama last weekend, there is a burnt out factory Yamaha. We've got to say, relieved all round that Maverick Vinales is okay, because that was super terrifying. I can't even imagine what it's like at full speed on a MotoGP bike around this Austrian circuit when you go for that front brake lever up the hill into turn 1 and there's nothing there. You could see he just threw himself off the side. That was super, super scary. Look at that, the front end barely being attached, still being attached to that Yamaha.
Well, that's for the scrap heap.
Well, last weekend it was unfortunate for Pol Espargaro when he was comfortably in the lead, and now it's Joan Mir's turn to have that wrong side of the coin in his face. Thankfully, of course, last weekend Rossi, Vinales, Zarco, Morbidelli were relatively okay, and Maverick Vinales looks okay, but they had to throw the red flag. It's part of the rule book. The second that there's damage to an air fence, it's not safe enough to continue the Grand Prix. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying for Maverick Vinales. Alex Marquez was right behind him. That would have shaken Alex Marquez as well, seeing that. You don't want to see that happen to your fellow competitor at all.
Right, listen to this. Yeah.
Stevie, he threw himself off at about 210 kilometres an hour.
Which makes it all the more amazing that he actually just got straight to his feet. Oh. That is scary. Do you know the decision that you have to make as a rider at that speed?
I was just going to say, he got off that immediately. Immediately, he knew what was coming and he just got off it straight away, and hands in the air. Well, it was a clutch problem last weekend. You've got to feel sympathy for Maverick Vinales. Nothing he could do about that.
That would have been horrifying.
Was it the brake problem that was causing his issues throughout that race? Terrifying. His Monster Energy Yamaha crew look on.
There's a new air fence going in. We're going to get a new race. Joan Mir was leading by 2.4 seconds. He's got to refocus now. Blimey, we've not got long to wait till the restart either. These guys have got to make their decision quick. In 5 minutes, pit lane reopens. It'll be open for 60 seconds. Whatever decisions they want to make them now. You've got to believe, Matt, that with 12 laps, that soft tyres are going to be thrown in here if they've got them.
Well, it's going to be a splash and dash as well, isn't it? You know, in terms of you've got to calculate the fuel load that you need. You don't want to be carrying any more fuel than you need to. Wow.
Valentino Rossi then, this time with a red flag. Not looking like he's seen a ghost.
Yeah, Maverick Vinales just needs to get out of Spielberg, and thankful after these 2 incidents in 7 days that he's in one piece.
Now then, Fabio Quartararo's coming over towards Valentino Rossi here. And here we go. Nudge. Brake, how's your brake? How's your brake?
It's been a Yamaha issue, hasn't it? It's been a Yamaha issue.
If they've got any chance to salvage anything, though, it would be with soft tyres. So, if anything, this new restart helps both Quartararo and Rossi out quite a lot.
I reckon that speedometer on Maverick Vinales was around 210 kilometres an hour when he jumped off that Yamaha. You don't drive down a motorway, do you, at home and think, yeah, we're doing 100 miles an hour, let's chuck myself out the window in full racing. It's terrifying.
Look out, everyone,
yeah,
because Johann Zarco ain't going to be starting from pit lane in the next one.
And what's he got to lose? Absolutely nothing. He can go for it.
Simon, what info can you bring us from pit lane?
It is chaos, guys. I mean, you know, I'm sure it's organised chaos, but there's wheels and tools and things flying everywhere. People trying to get their bikes, you know, with new equipment on them, especially tyres, before, you know, and prepared for the next one. You know, guys, that's proper terrifying. First of all, you know, salvage, even if it didn't burn, that bike of Maverick's going into that wall and stopping like that, that would have smashed, you know, the engine and stuff. You know, the front wheel and discs and everything forks into that engine for sure. Yeah, terrifying. The man to ask what that's like, most experienced one I know would be Eugene Laverty. I think from memory is about 3 times he's had to do it.
Eugene's had experience of just about every single worst crash you could possibly have. Yes, I actually recall that. That was at Imola, wasn't it? That was absolutely horrific. So Yamaha have quite a severe brake issue problem. You know, you've seen those massive air scoops on the Honda here this weekend to try and cool the discs down, or the pads down, sorry. And you know, Yamaha have come into this weekend, and it's a problem that has not been fixed.
The way these guys' brains work, Steve, the speed of clarity over this last week that Maverick Vinales has gone about his business. You remember that incident turn 3 last weekend? Both hands off the handlebar with a bike flying over his head. 2 seconds later, if you watch that footage back, he's at full throttle because he's not sure whether the red flag's going to come out. He doesn't want to lose a place to Rossi. And then there, he's doing what? 120, 130 miles an hour still. And he's got the blink of an eye to react and throw himself off that factory Yamaha. Scary week for Maverick Vinales.
Miguel Oliveira here going through on Andrea Dovizioso. We didn't see that whilst everything's going on, so Oliveira will start 1 place ahead of Dovi on the grid. The pit lane's going to open in just under 2 minutes. Here is Dovi then. Dovi's going to have to start from 8th on the grid again. But this just opens the door up for so much to change. MotoGP 2020, you cannot take your eyes off the screen for a second.
Yeah, I mean, how much more drama can we cram into this 2020 season? Taka Nakagami was having an outstanding ride, wasn't he? He'd found finally a way through on Jack Miller to take 2nd place. He was quite a way behind Juan Mir.
No surprise to see a Brembo engineer talking to Valentino Rossi there regarding front brakes. Does Valentino Rossi fancy his chances in a 12-lap dash?
Yeah, I'd imagine Rossi just seeking some kind of reassurance from Brembo that the same's not going to happen to him.
Simon, because they can't change tyres on the grid, when they leave pit lane, we're thinking most will go out with the white banded soft rear. But I mean, if you see anything unusual, give us a shout.
I'll keep an eye, guys.
Thanks very much to Simon. Here's Pol Espargaro. Well, let's put it this way. Race 1 last week went to plan, race 2 didn't.
Yeah.
Race 1 didn't go to plan this week. There's another chance now for Pol.
A lot of things went against Pol Espargaro last weekend, didn't they? You've got to say he wasn't in that podium battle when that red flag came out, so he gets an unlikely 2nd bite of the cherry today. Back to you, Simon.
Guys, just some thoughts. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some rules change about brakes here, you know, after that's happened, because, you know, yeah, they're all on those high mass discs and the dry, but they're not, as I said in practice, all on the high mass calipers, which is I think where the problem's coming from. I spoke to the Brembo guy a few times in depth. Like, for example, I'm looking at the Aprilias, a couple of other bikes there, KTMs, they've all got the high mass calipers as well, and they're having no issues. So I wouldn't be surprised if they force everyone to do that in the future.
Yeah, thanks for that, Simon. Of course, there was some pretty well publicised braking issues, wasn't there, last week for Fabio Quartararo. He said it was very nerve-wracking last weekend. His front brake lever in both legs last week, like a clutch, he said, just kept coming back to the handlebar. A couple of times he went off, and he said it's not a good place to be when you're in these hard braking zones, decelerating from high speed at the Red Bull Ring. You're not really completely convinced that you're going to have brakes in that front end, so yeah.
I think Dovi's got soft. This will be an important one because they won't have enough time to give us a tyre sheet with the quick start procedure. That's so good to see. There you see, that tells you all you need to know about Maverick Vinales with that terrifying incident that's brought the red flag out. But we focus now on the race. We need to keep an eye on the tyres to see who's coming to the grid on what.
When Maverick gets back home to Andorra after these 2 weeks in Spielberg, first thing I'd do, go and buy yourself a lottery ticket, mate.
Yeah. And what impact does that ultimately have on his World Championship as well after such a great start? Here we go on board with him again.
He's up to about 300 Ks. He just clicks 300 Ks, and when he jumps off, 215, maybe even faster than what we initially thought. Speed's immaterial. It's super scary. It's absolutely terrifying. It's tough to watch yet again for poor old Maverick Vinales, and watch that bike. If that air fence wasn't there, that's still going to be going now. Horrendous. Look, yeah, no brake. Pretty clear to see right from the get-go as the quick restart procedure gets us underway again here. Do we get the Styrian national anthem again? Cheer me up, that one did. So here is your new starting grid. We've got to do it all over again here in Austria for the second week in succession. Mir, Nakagami and Miller on the front row, Polispargo, Rins and Binder on row 2, and it's Oliveira, Dovizioso and Ika Lekuona who had a great first race. Quartararo was struggling, as was Rossi in 10th and 11th. Were they also having front brake issues? What about Johan Zarco? What can he do starting from 17th place? Back row will be Smith, Rabat and Bradl. Simon, you've got some information for us.
Yeah, there has been a few changes. I can see Jack is soft. Nakagami's medium on the front, soft on the rear. I just about medium.
Yeah, away they go. We'll be able to hopefully see from the graphics soon enough. Here is Joan Mir. He's definitely gone for a soft rear tyre. So
if he makes the start he made in leg 1, he's going to be okay, because he made the dream launch from that front row.
there's so many different avenues to look at here. Johan Zarco, no pit lane start for the number 5. So many riders get a new crack at this. Valentino Rossi will be starting from 11th. He's at the back of this group at the moment in the warm-up lap.
In this situation, you really have to feel, first of all, for Maverick Vinales, because nobody wants to be in that situation where you're decelerating from 300 kilometres an hour and you've got no front brake. But what about Mir, Nakagami and Miller? Those guys were well set for the podium, weren't they? They were already starting to get themselves ready for a bit of Prosecco post-race.
It was take 2 for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's take 2 here in Styria as well. If we had fans here, they'd have been in for some show. What have we got in store? A 12-lap dash here to conclude a triple header at the start of the MotoGP 2020 season. So many stories. We know we're going to have a new world champion at the end of the year. We've got no idea who it's going to be.
Well, it would be round about now where we'd be on the last couple of laps. This delay, surely there can't be another twist. We're not going to get some rain as well, are we?
I wasn't going to say that. You've done it for me.
I did. I went there.
Matt Burt, 39 minutes past 2. Okay, here we go then. Mir lines up on pole position. Nakagami, second, Miller, third. Will it be normal services resumed? Can the three of them get away just as they did in race 1? Or will there be a twist here? We asked if there would be hysteria in Styria. Well, we've already had a bundle load of drama, but race 1 no longer exists. It's time for race 2.
It's a Red Bull Ring rematch.
Eyes to the lights here in MotoGP. 12 laps starts now. A terrible start from Miller and from Rins. Mir gets up to another flare. He's already 3 or 4 bike lengths clear, and look who's got up into second. Polispargo on the KTM.
It was a shocker from Alex Rins. Big wheelie off the line. He's dropped back down to about 6th or 7th place. Karl Crutchlow was well wide at the back as well on the LCR Honda. But Mir back in prime position just as he was in race 1.
Breaking into turn 3, Mir from Miller. Look at Polispargo, he's third. Miguel Oliveira's got off to a good start. I think he's up into 4th now. He's just going past Taka Nakagami, and Binder's there as well.
Alex Rins through the first sector in 8th place. Then here comes Miller attacking in the braking zone for turn number 4. He's got the inside line on Mir. He'll hold it.
He's going wide, he's going wide. Oh, but he closes the door. Does Miller and Mir side by side. Oh, and Miller comes through.
Nakagami got hung out to dry coming through turn number 4. Dolby and Binder, I think, got through on the Japanese man. They did.
Miller then braves it through turn 4 and 5 to lead ahead of Joan Mir. Polispargo on the KTM in 3rd, followed by Miguel Oliveira. Brad Binder is in 5th place, Dobby's in 6th, so 3 KTMs then, improving already.
Rins trying to regroup after that very sluggish start, not the launch that he wanted, in contrast to the brilliant launch of his teammate Joan Mir. So then, race 2, lap 1, and it will be Jack Miller that leads the way from Mir. Polispargo on the KTM 3rd, ahead of Miguel Oliveira. Dovizioso in 6th place yet again. Nakagami was beaten up on that first lap. He started on the front row. He's 7th.
Up the hill we go, and it's already a different looking race to race 1. Poor old Taka Nakagami.
You've got a feel for him, haven't you?
You really do, but there's every chance he could still play a part. Here comes Brad Binder. He lunges up the inside of Miguel Oliveira, then he goes up into 4th place. I mean, you just would not write off a Brad Binder win here again, would you?
You really wouldn't. You really wouldn't. Is there another fairy tale coming for Binder?
Brand new slick tyres for Jack Miller, by the way. That's important information. Oh, that's gone a bit crossed up. Is that going to be KTM side by side again? It is. Brad Binder got that horribly wrong as he tried to make a move on Pol Espargaro.
Yeah, but he's got the inside line into turn 6. He's wide again, so he's struggling here. Oliveira snaps back up the inside of the South African. These two are having a good dogfight in race 1, weren't they? They're back at it again in race 2.
KTM guys will be having kittens watching this.
Another moment on the gas, bit of lean angle through turn number 7. He's having quite a few moments earlier in this second race, is Binder.
Yeah, and Dovizioso now is going through on Brad Binder. Up the inside he goes. He saw that there was a problem. Binder's going to try and retaliate though immediately on the race winner from last week. There's no room this time now. So Binder then getting a bit beaten up. An unusual sight on a Sunday. Across the line though, 10 laps to go. Miller at 23.928. What a lap!
Binder does not care too much for big reputations, does he, in MotoGP? Great lap then by Jack Miller. Couple of tenths he is now nearly clear of Joan Mir in second place. They're stretching away again from Pol Espargaro, who's in third still.
Oh, there you go now. Is that key? Joan Mir's not got enough tyres. He's out there on an 18-lap-old medium front tyre. And Jack Miller has got brand new softs on. That could be
decisive,
huge.
couldn't it? That could be decisive. Well, obviously Mir's gone out in this second race with the medium front tyre he used in race 1.
Wow. Well, there you go. The tails are not over there. Valentino Rossi, by the way, is up into 8th now. He's gone past Alex Rins. Not looking in bad shape. He's lapping quicker than he's done most of the weekend so far. I'm guessing Rossi's gone out on brand new softs as well.
Johann Zarco's got himself into the points in 15th place. Fabio Quartararo at the moment is 14th. Aleix Espargaro has just picked him off, so what a humbling afternoon for Fabio Quartararo, though. If he's having anything like the brake problems that Maverick Vinales occurred, well, he'll be happy just to see the checkered flag at this rate with Quartararo.
9 laps to go here in the Grand Prix of Styria. Jack Miller leads by just a tenth and a bit. Oliveira is the fastest rider on circuit. These guys are going for it. Sprint race, serious lap times.
He wants that first podium finish, doesn't he, Miguel Oliveira? He'd love to snatch it away from Pol Espargaro as well.
We're very close to breaking the race lap record set by Dovey here last year. Through turn 3, as you were. There's Rossi up ahead of Rins. And Iker Lecuona is now coming through again. Another good race from Lecuona. Since that start, with the lights going out, it's been a nightmare for Alex Rins.
Yeah, he was wide, wasn't he, into turn number 3. That's dropped him off of Rossi and back into the clutches of Lecuona.
There's Fabio Quartararo. He's down in 14th place. He's only one ahead of Johann Zarco.
Absolute nightmare at the moment.
2 points in it.
He's just going to cling on to that championship advantage. Jack Miller, if it stays as is, will only be 8 points behind in the championship battle.
That is extraordinary, isn't it, really?
And Jack had a DNF, of course, when he crashed out of the lead group in Jerez too, while he was trying to track his teammate Pecco Bagnaia.
And a nightmare in Brno as well. Down the hill into turn 9.
Nobody can seize complete control of this 2020 MotoGP title chase.
Well, it's brilliant viewing, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't take your eyes off it. Compulsive viewing.
How's Dovey faring then? Now he's got past Brad Binder. Is he getting in the groove with 8 laps to go? 23.877.
Pol Espargaro is definitely in the groove, isn't he? That's the fastest lap of the race from the KTM man. Anything Miguel Oliveira can do, I can do better, says Pol Espargaro.
That's 0.05 of a second away from the all-time lap record then from Pol Espargaro. Here he is now trying to get on terms with Joan Mir. Does he fancy a look into turn 3 already? He's going through, but can he hold it? Yes, he can. Brilliant.
So Pol Espargaro then now sets about reeling in race leader Jack Miller. Second opportunity for Pol Espargaro. It didn't go his way last week. He's grasping it with both hands so far. Miller can't escape though, can he, with those new soft tyres? Back with Fabio Quartararo, still just about your World Championship leader, heading to Misano in a couple of weeks' time. Sam, you've got some information about race 1 leader Joan Mir's tyres. What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, guys, he's restarted with the same front, but he had a brand new rear on.
Yeah, thanks for that, Simon. So Mir then in trouble. We know Jack Miller's gone out there on brand new softs. Pol Espargaro getting into the zone now, isn't he? He's closing on Jack Miller. He's closing all the time. There'll be 7 laps to go, and all of a sudden now you can sense the hunger coming from the number 44, who's got unfinished business after what's happened in the last fortnight. Across the line we go, and he's already in the slipstream, and surely there's a pass coming here into turn one.
There is, he's got that inside line, he'll just squeeze Miller out, although he's in hot. Miller pounces straight back on through, and he's lost drive coming out of turn one as Pol Espargaro. It's tight there. Rins again wide at the top of your picture in the first corner.
Disaster, absolute disaster. Miguel Oliveira here fancies a look up the inside of Joan Mir and will go through and just forces him out. Dovi's closing as well.
Who's coming, I was just going to say, undaunted Dovi starting to look really, really menacing here, look really, really strong. You've got to feel if Mir misses the podium, if Nakagami misses the podium, that would be really, really cool on those two guys. We're thankful, of course, that Maverick Vinales is okay, but the red flag really did.
I cannot see Mir holding on to a podium with that tyre. You could see that front end pushing in turn four there. It's just not going to happen. It's such a shame. Jack Miller it is, that leads. There's Hervé Poncharal watching. Yumi Sasaki's keeping a close eye on things as well. Yeah, he can't watch. Miguel Oliveira at the moment is up there in third place, but look who he's got directly in front of him. I mean, do we need to talk about what happened last Sunday?
So 7 laps to go,
Here we go again.
To go. Yeah, here comes Pol Espargaro. I'll try and make that move. You can see Miller knows it's coming, so he ran that tighter, much more defensive line, hugged the middle of the track there, did Miller, to make sure there was no way through.
Dobby wide,
turn one.
That's the race gone. He's not winning it from there now, is he? Oh, well, he's managed to.
Time, did he?
He's not lost as much as I thought he would. A rare mistake from Dovizioso.
That is a proper collector's item.
Oh, that's tight through turn 3. That's really tight. That unusual line Miller takes does leave the door open slightly.
Yeah, you get the feeling here as well, though, Pol Espargaro can get through. He's got the better pace at the moment. You just wonder how Jack Miller's right shoulder's holding up.
Miller put on a mighty defensive display 7 days ago to hold off Joan Mir. KTM Group can't watch.
Well, they've had some ups and downs over the last couple of weeks, haven't they, the KTM factory? And here they are yet again fighting for another victory in their home Grand Prix. It's a two-pronged attack, with Oliveira also in there as well behind Pol Espargaro.
Miguel Oliveira is having a great race, isn't he? Here comes Pole, then he's going to attack down into turn 9. He goes alongside Jack Miller, and through he goes, but can he hold it? Can he hold it? This time it looks like he might just about do it.
He just parked that KTM in the middle of the corner there, didn't he? So there was no way through for Miller to retaliate. Look how they all concertina up then, coming out the final corner. This is going to be a pretty frantic and hectic final 5 laps. Pol Espargaro hits the front then. Is he going to have a better chance of winning his first ever?
Binder's gone way too high.
That's his podium chance is gone. But with Pol Espargaro will never have a better chance of winning his first MotoGP race. He hits the front here in Austria with 5 to go in this shortened second encounter.
Here comes Miller. Is he going to have a look up the inside? No. I love that line from Jack. That is box office slightly wide on exit there from Pol Espargaro. Does that then give a chance to Miller on the drag down towards turn 4?
Jack Miller, it's Speedway. It's MotoGP, Jack, not Speedway. It was a good impression of Aussie Jason Crump there, wasn't it? Brilliant.
Through turn 4, Pol Espargaro has it. It's 44 from 43. Wide from Mir. He's struggling with grip, and Dovi then gets another place, and he gets closer. 5 laps to go here in MotoGP.
Well, Mir's front tyre now has done what? 25 laps on it. 18 he started, and he's obviously struggling. You've got to feel for Joan Mir. You've really got to feel for him, because he was so well placed to take that first victory. But here comes Dovi, the wily old campaigner, using all of his experience to try and get himself back into this podium battle. Every point prices, of course, in terms of the title battle as well.
There's never been a better chance for Pol Espargaro to get his first ever MotoGP race win. We're on board with Jack Miller now. Onto the start-finish straight we go, and Pole powers away down the start-finish straight. There goes Dovi as well. Dovi's lapping just as quick as Pol Espargaro.
Yeah, Pol Espargaro and Andrea Dovizioso's lap times were different by just 0.05 of a second.
Dovi was wide on the exit though of turn 1. That's cost him a tenth or two.
Up the hill into turn 1. He's had that a couple of times now. Taka Nakagami's in 6th place. Have they got anything left late in the locker here? So we're back on board with Jack Miller. That Ducati slithering and snaking around on the brakes into turn 3 yet again.
4 laps to go for the Styrian Grand Prix. Whatever happens, this looks like it's going all the way into turn 4. This is Jack Miller we're on board with. sliding now around turn 5. We had some great slow-mos here yesterday, and now into the left-handers. This is where Jack had that big crash. There's poor old Joan Mir.
You can see that front's chattering.
Well, look at, you can actually visibly see the wear. I mean, that's a sign that things are not good for Joan.
Through turn 6 there, you could see he was having a lot of front-end chatter.
This is the helicopter view with 4 laps remaining in MotoGP.
Dovi was in a little bit hot through turn 9 as well. Very uncharacteristically erratic at the moment, Andrea Dovizioso. Not big mistakes, but they're mistakes enough to make sure he can't still get his claws into the top 3 battle.
And Espargaro can't quite break away from Jack Miller, and you just know Miller, who's not had a win on a Ducati yet, will throw everything that he has got in his power at this. And don't forget, he's injured.
And he made some pretty barbed comments about Pol Espargaro's temperament post-Spielberg last weekend, so Pol Espargaro, he wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he? There's going to be some pretty high emotions if he wins this Austrian Grand Prix for KTM.
3 down, 3 to go, sorry, here in Austria. Here is Dovi, half a second down on Miguel Oliveira now. Surely that's a bit too far away from Dovi to being able to keep Ducati's unbeaten run going. The hopes of Ducati look like they're resting on an injured shoulder of Jack Miller.
Yeah, can Miller keep their golden run going here in the Red Bull Ring? Chasing a 6th victory. You can see Joan Mir's not giving up that battle for 4th place. He's hanging in there. Brilliant performance by Mir. His display today, his display all weekend, has merited better than this. He deserved better than 5th place if that's the outcome it's going to be for Joan Mir.
Well, likewise, Taka Nakagami just behind him in 6th. It looks like the win's coming from one of these 3. Pol Espargaro, Jack Miller, Miguel Oliveira, and there's only ever, between the 3 of them, there's only one winner, and that's Miller.
Yeah, I said lap 2, P1 okay. It would certainly be okay if that's the outcome in a couple of laps' time for Pol Espargaro. He gets good drive grip out of that first corner. There's no way that Jack Miller's going to be able to get close enough to attack him on the brakes up the hill into turn 3.
Yeah, Miller, the only winner from the group of 3 out front, but it was in unusual circumstances, wasn't it, over in Assen?
Great defending as well by Miller. He just stopped that Ducati smack bang in the middle of turn number 3. Miguel Oliveira had to pull on the brake lever harder. Look how much time there Oliveira lost. 7 or 8 bike lengths to Jack Miller.
Jack is trying everything here.
Mir and Nakagami were wide there at turn 4 as well, as that cost them places to Alex Rins. Nakagami certainly lost a place to Rins.
Jack looks closer here. He does look a little closer to Pol Espargaro. 2 laps to go here. Is Miller going to have a little look at Pol Espargaro around turn 7 through turn 8? Has he got the speed there? So quick is Pol though on that right-hander.
Yeah, the last 2 sectors for Pol Espargaro and the KTM, he's looked so good over the course of the 2 Grand Prix here in Austria.
Well then, we are a lap away from Pol Espargaro taking what would be a memorable victory for KTM on home soil.
This is going to be the biggest lap of his life, and this is a guy who's won a Moto2 World Championship. They're egging him on, they can barely watch. Pol Espargaro on the brink of the biggest day of his Grand Prix career. He's keeping Jack Miller at bay. Again, he gets the really good strong drive. That Michelin rear tyre hooked up brilliantly out of the first corner. Miller's not close enough to strike.
Here we go on the brakes then into turn 3. Miller then, he's not going for that unusual line this time. Defensive from Pol, and he knew it was coming. That's going to give him some great drive. Dovi's gone wide. Look at the drive though from Miller.
Yeah, Pol Espargaro just got in a little bit too hot.
He's coming.
Miller is going to try and attack him on the brakes into turn 4. Miller's got the inside line. He'll squeeze Pol Espargaro out. They rub knees. Miller leads then. Coming into turn 4 on the final lap. Surely he's looking for late heartache here for Pol Espargaro. He tries to fly back through 5. No way through.
This brings Oliveira into the picture as they go through the left-handers. This is all here, isn't it? This is the winners coming from one of these 3.
Can Miller hold on? Oliveira, he's trying to find a way through on Pol Espargaro as well. It's a last lap thriller from Thriller Miller. Can he hang on here in the Red Bull Ring? Can he keep the Ducati's golden run going? Here comes Pol Espargaro over the crest, down the brake, he's over turn 9. Espargaro's got the inside line. Can he keep
Jack,
it?
he's up the inside. Oh my goodness, he's all there. It's all on the line. Jack goes up the inside. The chipping's landing. It's going to be done. Oliveira wins it.
Unbelievable. What a finish. What a last lap thriller. They can't believe it in Tech 3. Miguel Oliveira anticipated Styrian Grand Prix. How much more drama do you want on the final lap? They can't believe it. It's the first ever victory for the Tech 3 team in MotoGP. They tried it for 20 years at Yamaha. Miguel Oliveira is the man. Unbridled joy in KTM. Pol Espargaro and Jack Miller led on that final lap. Look at those scenes in Tech 3.
Can you believe it?
Wow.
Portugal's pioneer. Watch this. We all thought it was
What a
just
last
about
lap.
Pol and Jack Miller. But they're both so intent on trying to take victory that...
Well, it was Marquez Dovizioso at the final corner. They both ran wide. And then Miguel Oliveira kept himself in the hunt, and he was close enough to snatch that victory. What a last lap.
This is turn 4. Block pass from Miller. Had to be done, and he did it. But then the problem is with that is it just brings Oliveira into the fight. Now watch this, into the last turn. Block pass, Miller thinks he's got it done. And then look at Oliveira. He keeps it pinned around turn 10. And Portugal's pioneer goes across the line. In the Styrian Hills, it's Mount Miguel.
Absolutely astonishing. Look at that. Coming into turn 10, he was third. He comes out of turn 10 and he's going to win the Styrian Grand Prix. We've got Hervé Poncharal down in pit lane with Simon.
Simon, I told you a few days ago, you know, I've been here for more than 40 years, never ever won a MotoGP race, and that was something that was in my mind, and maybe I would retire before that would happen, and today this is happening. And you know, we were so down after the Moto3 race, and fuck, only racing can give you this emotion, you know, to feel like the worst day of your life, and a few hours later the best day of your life. I'm just happy to share that moment with you, my friend, because you're a special guy, Simon, special guy. Congratulations.
Yeah, apologies for the language there, but frankly, who cares? I mean, it's just such high emotions going on here. Can you believe it? Hervé Poncharal, they tried for 20 long years. People laughed at Tech 3 when they signed that deal to leave Yamaha and join KTM. Yet here we are, what, couple of years down the track, and Miguel Oliveira is our newest Grand Prix winner in the 900th Premier Class race. It was befitting of such a milestone. What a way to cap that landmark 900th Premier Class race with a home win for KTM.
I just want to add something in just quickly, Matt. There were a couple of people running wide on that last lap. And will there be any demotions? I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but we'll wait and see. But either way, there's no doubt about it. We have a Portuguese race winner in MotoGP. 2 weeks ago, we had a South African. We've had 4 different winners in 5 races. Here's Pol Espargaro then.
He's going to be absolutely gutted. There's no podium going to console this man right now. He looked like he had it in the bag, and then he got in hot, didn't he, at turn 3 on that last lap. That's what dragged Miller back into contention. Miller, well, he could not have done any more. Could not have done any more. Ducati finally beaten at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg.
Miguel Oliveira, the 25-year-old from Portugal. This is great to see. Pol and Jack.
Race.
By the way, this is Miguel's 150th race as well, so it's a milestone race for him.
Your hearts have to go out as well, of course, to the likes of Juan Mir, who was 4th, Taka Nakagami 7th. Those two deserve better.
It's just been recently announced that our final round of the year will be in Portugal, and the 900th Premier Class race goes to Miguel Oliveira and to the Tech 3 and KTM as well. I mean, KTM win on home soil, and Hervé gets a victory as well. It's just, you cannot write the script.
So happy there, Steve Blackburn with the bald head and the glasses. He's been around a long, long time with Steve-O. Great to see him. What a last corner.
Wow. It is just, he kept it pinned around turn 10.
Yeah, you did it, man. You did it. Absolutely. That's what it feels like to win your first MotoGP race. Awesome. Jack Miller congratulates Oliveira with his left hand. I don't think he's got much power left in the right arm.
That's good to see. A handshake from 2 men who certainly differed in opinion, shall we say, in the last 7 days.
I think it's fair to say there was a bit of mudslinging going on between the pair of them, but there's going to be some Prosecco slinging going on. Pit Byra, 2 wins in 3 weeks for KTM. He must be over the moon. He's with Simon.
2 wins in 3 weeks and 2 on the podium today.
What an amazing achievement. It's just completely crazy. Spielberg, Park Fermé and 2 KTMs on the grid. But I have to cheer to Miguel.
Miguel's getting a hug from...
Thanks for that, Simon. Your heart goes out, doesn't it, there as well to Juan Mir. such contrasting emotions between your race winner there, Miguel Oliveira, and Joan Mir, who was doing such a supreme job. He was flawless in that first race before the red flag came out. You've got to think that had the red flag not come out, it was likely that Joan Mir was going to be on the top step of the podium. As it is, it's Miguel Oliveira who creates yet more history. He was Portugal's first winner in Moto3. He's joining an exclusive club as well, of course. Race winners in all 3 World Championship categories now.
The championship's been blown wide open. There's a point between Dovi and Quartararo, I think, if my maths are correct, and all of a sudden you have to throw all 3 of these guys into the equation again.
Pol Espargaro in the braking zone uphill to turn 3 on that last lap must have thought, I've got it, I've got this done. I'm going to win my first MotoGP race. Let's see what he's got to say after a incredible 12-lap scrap here. He's with Simon in Parc Ferme.
Paul, you clearly put everything into that, and it was so close. How do you feel?
Yeah, in that kind of races, I mean, everyone can race, can win the race, and I mean, I'm super happy. We did an amazing job. The last corner, we were fighting with Jack, and you know, Miguel took that profit of that, you know, when both wide, but at the end, this is racing. It was a beautiful race, fighting from the beginning till the end. I felt that this race, it was not our race anyway. It was Mir race today. He was very, very fast at the beginning. He was going away, and it's a pity for him because he was the fastest today. So anyway, we are here, and I'm super happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations to Pol Espargaro, and great words there, acknowledging that had the red flags not come out for the Maverick Vinales game, this is the last corner. We're going to see this light up social media for a few days. Miller running Pol Espargaro wide and saying thank you very much. Gleefully sweeping on through was Miguel Oliveira to take his first MotoGP victory.
My maths are wrong, there's 3 points in it at the top, but it is so close.
Yeah.
There's 27 points covering the top 9 riders.
I'll let you off. I mean, we're all kind of quite excited again. Oh, in the commentary box here.
The only thing that was missing was the Matt Burt scream. There we go,
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah. I'll give you a late one. Better late than never, I guess. Wow, where'd you catch your breath? Jack Miller, second, back on the podium here in Spielberg. He's with Simon in Parc Ferme.
Jack, what a fight, and so close to the win. But you were one of the few guys in both fights, in both races.
Yeah. First race, you know, I was just on map B, sort of chipping away at it. When Taki come past, I was all right, I will start going now, because I was like, fell off the back of Mir a little bit, but he was going really hard. He sort of stuck around that 24.4, sort of 3 mark. And, you know, I just wasn't willing to run that pace. Yeah, in the second race, I mean, it was a sprint. 12 laps off, let's go. You know, I had that lunge on pole there in the last lap, got the deal done, and then I kind of had him, like I wasn't getting the greatest drive out of 7 all day. I didn't get the greatest drive out of it, especially on last lap. Pole come next to me, I knew what he was going to do, so I tried to brake a little earlier and run underneath him. I did that, but yeah, it is what it is. Life goes on, we'll move on to the next one.
Congratulations.
I'd just like to say a massive congratulations to Miguel, you know, for Portugal, and I know it was a massive deal, so congrats, mate.
Great words again by Jack Miller. It's been a really good week's work for him in Spielberg. 2 podiums, this was all the drama. He said here, he braked a little bit early to try and sweep up the inside of Pol Espargaro, and just ready to pick up the pieces with the 88. Here comes Miller up the inside of Pol in the final corner. They both run wide, and out of your shot now is an ecstatic Miguel Oliveira taking the checkered flag first for an historic victory for Portugal. 900th Premier Class race, and as we said, it was certainly befitting of such a milestone. And here is your newest MotoGP winner, the 900th Premier Class race. Congratulations to Miguel Oliveira, he's with Simon.
Miguel, a lot of people put you down to be in the fight today, including Dovizioso, but how does it feel to win?
I don't know, I'm very emotional. There's so much I want to say right now, but I won't be able to say so much. Just a big thank you to all the people who believed in me. There's so many coming through my mind right now, but starting from family at home, everyone, the team, my sponsors, all the Portuguese crowd,
Yes, we are really, really the best. Thank you so much for your support. History today for me, for my country, and I couldn't be happier to have done it here in the home of KTM and Red Bull. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Huge congratulations.
I think it's fair to say Miguel Oliveira quite enjoyed that one. Huge congratulations to him. Yet more late drama in a Spielberg Classic at the Red Bull Ring. And Miguel Oliveira, look at that moment, a big, big shake of the head when he realised, it's dawned on him, you are a MotoGP race winner. What a momentous occasion in Miguel Oliveira's life, one he'll never forget.
Very happy for Miguel, so happy for Hervé Poncharal and the Tech 3 team.
You talk about World Championship stalwarts, well, Hervé Poncharal is right up there.
And, oh yeah, I forgot, you get the keys to a BMW as well. Look at that. Of course, once the stickers are off, I'm not so sure about those BMW colours, but he's got the keys to a brand new car as well. Not a bad day. We've had worse days.
Not a bad day when he comes into the final corner third. Yeah, pretty memorable day then for Miguel Oliveira.
How unique as well. M power, Miguel power.
Marcus Flash there from BMW. What a scene for Miguel Oliveira.
I hope he gets off the roof pretty soon.
I was going to say, BMW, what does that stand for now? Brilliant Miguel wins. Awesome. There is Hervé Poncharal. Absolutely, look at that. Just great scenes.
Do you know what? This man deserves such a pat on the back, to have a smile on his face after all that. He'll be back. He showed immense speed, immense maturity. I mean, Joan Mir is in the hunt for the World Championship this year. Those eyes of determination. He knows that there was only so much he could do with those worn medium front tyres. He'll be back in Misano.
Yeah, he can take so much encouragement, though, from the fact that in the first race, he was awesome. Nobody was going to stop him, let's be honest. He'd broken clear of Nakagami, he'd broken clear of Miller. His time will come. We thought it was going to be today, not so. Look at the championship. It's just so ridiculously tight at the top.
It's crazy, isn't it? The top three guys in the World Championship were nowhere near the podium, really. Dobby struggled. He was fifth, so he's lost ground to Mir, Pol Espargaro, Jack Miller, Miguel Oliveira. Both Pol Espargaro and Miguel Oliveira needed those points as well.
Tough one to take, though, isn't it, for Mir? When the cameras are around him, he cracks a smile, but he's going to be hurting inside for a couple of weeks after that one. But we're about to start the podium celebrations here in MotoGP. And there's going to be some ecstatic figures on that podium. Can you believe it? In their home Grand Prix, 2 KTMs on the podium for the first time. And here comes a jubilant Hervé Poncharal. He's had to wait so long for this. Not just the Tech 3 KTM boss, so influential behind the scenes as president of the International Race Teams Association. Such a key member of the World Championship paddock. Here comes Pol Espargaro. Congratulations to him. That's only his second MotoGP podium, of course, his first in the dry. Jack Miller then comes onto the box for the second time in a week in Spielberg. Must have thought at one point in that final corner he'd won before he ran wide, and coming sweeping through was Miguel the Master. Here is your newest MotoGP winner. They can't believe it. They've even found an air horn from somewhere. The Tech 3 KTM boys. They've come prepared, we'll give them that. So, fist pump from Hervé Poncharal and Miguel Oliveira. Jan Stovacek, the FIM representative, hands over the Constructor Trophy. A second win in 14 days for KTM. A first ever in the Premier class for Tech 3. That's one for the Wall in the Workshop down in the south of France. So special to do it in a landmark Grand Prix, of course. Third place trophy then shortly will be handed over to 29-year-old Spaniard Pol Espargaro. Marcus Flash, the BMW CEO. He presents the third place trophy to Pole from the first race. It's his 46th career podium, just his second in MotoGP. His first, of course, in the rain in Valencia 2018. Jack Miller gets some more silverware from Barbara Ibinga-Meidel, local council representative here in the Styrian region. Jack Miller, that is his 18th career podium, his 8th in MotoGP. First time he's finished second. Great day for Pramac Ducati, but what a day, not just for MotoGP, with it being the 900th Premier Class race. Christopher Drexler from the Provisional Council. Not just a great day for MotoGP with the 900th Premier Class race, but a great day for Miguel Oliveira, great day for Tech3, and a great day for Portuguese sport. Here is your history-making first Portuguese man to win in MotoGP. Congratulations to Miguel Oliveira. He takes his first win in the MotoGP World Championship on a truly unforgettable day here in the Styrian Grand Prix. For the first time in MotoGP history, since its long history started back in 1949, we get to hear the Portuguese national anthem ring out. Huge congratulations once again to your race winner, Miguel Oliveira. Some stats in those 900 Grand Prix. He becomes the 112th winner in Premier Class history, the 270th rider to finish on the podium since we got underway in 1949.
4 different winners and 11 different podium finishes. 2020 is wide open. It certainly is. We've heard the French national anthem, the South African national anthem, the Italian, and now the Portuguese. What's next in store for us? Of course, we take a 2-week break now, and quite frankly, we need it.
We really do. Has anybody got a dark room quite nearby that I can have a long lie down in? I make that now 11 different podium finishes as well so far, which is just...
It's amazing. And the season is set to continue. We have another 3 triple headers left to complete the season, and of course we'll end in Portugal.